Okay, here we go again. I think this is Friday after the Thursday I got them. I got them Thursday, March 1st, 2018. I just made a video. I think didn't work. My camera's screwed up. I think the chickens have probably doubled in size, and the ducklings have probably tripled in size. I was telling Delara they're usually ducks are ready to eat at like 6 weeks, so they grow really fast. Okay, so I was saying that it snowed yesterday. The chicks have done very well. They've been very happy in this this large dog kennel brooder thing I made, and I got these screws and wing nuts because I don't know what this came with, but I think it might have came with some plastic things. So I just had this plastic covered wire holding these together, but hopefully, oh, they might be too big. I haven't tried them yet. I might have needed to gun. Well, I can take these back if I need to. So I haven't tried yet to get them through that hole. I think they might work. Anyway, so this is I just stirred up the bedding. It was on I can't remember. I had to go back and look at my video. I think it was the 5th. I think it was like half a week ago. And my goal was to have to clean this out once a week. And I've been throwing like a handful of just a couple of handfuls of dry shavings on top. And yesterday or day before, I started throwing in a couple of handfuls of this Sweet PDZ, which I got last year, and my chickens that I got rehomed, and my rabbits. It was too stressful for me by myself trying to deal with them in court and everything. So this looked like it might have gotten wet, even though their bags were not opened. But apparently it works, but I just have thrown a couple of handfuls in there. So, a few minutes ago, I've got a longer handled, heavier duty scoop than this one. I'm not sure. This one was handy. And it's kind of a big reach, just reach back in there. So I don't want to have to do this more than once a week. But I just stirred it up, and the shavings are really surprisingly dry. I was really shocked, but I think most of the moisture wasn't coming from the duck poop. I think most of the moisture when I had them in the house and that Rubbermaid thing was from the water, because they were going through water like crazy. And so I put because they're in here together, and I don't want my ducks to get wet and chilled. Oh, they're so cute. Look at them. Aren't they precious? Look at that. They're not cold. They're just kind of nervous. So, anyway, and I upgraded my food bowl. I put a bigger food bowl in here. I got this one over here, which I hope the ducks will avoid this one, because they need their water to mix their food with. So I've had this primarily to be the for the ducks to come, and I have to dump this water out every day because they'll spill a bunch of this water, but it goes into the pan so the shavings stay dry. And I've got rocks underneath. I didn't want to put many rocks in there because I didn't want to make it heavy. And then I got this non-slip shelf liner for them to walk on. And they haven't complained about that. So I think they're really happy. And even with snow yesterday and it being maybe in the 20s at night, it's a 250 watt heat lamp. And then I've got 3 bricks underneath that. And this, it's not hanging by the clamp. They say those clamps sometimes break, so it's hanging, it's looped through the clamp. Well, actually, it is hanging from the clamp then, isn't it? But it's got I don't know, I'm pretty confident that, I hear stories about fire started by brooder lamps, but I think if you take reasonable precautions, it'll be okay. But and it's only for like 3 weeks. So it's a 250 watt bulb, and those bricks are pretty warm. Every once in a while they get on them. Usually they're in that corner when they're like they're in this corner now. if they're not running around, and they really have been happy in here. And the article I read said that a 250 watt heat lamp, based on demonstrations done in the 50s, a 250 watt heat lamp can take care of 5 chicks in minus 20 degree temperature, even if the waters are like partially frozen. So yeah, I really think this is a good way to go. And I covered it with a tarp, and then I covered the door with a burlap sack to keep them snug. But there's plenty of ventilation. Like over here on this side, see my hand. There's shavings under here, and so there's plenty of air circulation without really being a draft. So I really like this setup. I probably won't be brooding chicks or ducks again for years, and I'll probably repurpose this some other way, but it's been really good for these chicks, and I'm really happy because it's that Sweet PDZ. I really think it helps, because like the second day when I came in here, let's see, it smells a little bit, but it's not really strong. And but I can tell, even though it's been several more days, after the first day, it was pretty stinky. And then when I started putting the Sweet PDZ down, I think that it's really good. And like I said, it's just a couple of handfuls. And I don't know how much this stuff costs, but it's good. It's supposed to absorb the ammonia, which is not good for anybody and not good for chicks. And keeps the smell down and helps keep things nice and dry. But I was really surprised. Yeah, you can see over there in that corner how the ducks, I was telling Delara how they do this projectile pooping, and they like hike their butts up and poop up against the wall. But I guess that's probably good, and then it can dry, and then maybe scrape it back down into the shavings, and decide to make good compost someday. Okay, I guess that's enough. But I'm really happy with this, and the ducks get that food wet pretty quick, but the chicks will eat it wet, and they've got the dry too. And I haven't bothered putting a separate waterer in here. I think it would kind of defeat the purpose, because the chicks don't have to have the water when they eat, but the ducks do, because they can choke. They like to make a slurry with the food and the water. But I clean it out every day and then wipe it. It just takes a few minutes with the hose pipe out here. So we're in good shape.